Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets and drama. So I'm back for another Roscoe's recap, and you may have noticed that I didn't do a video for last week's episode, which was episode 8, because although it was entertaining, the guests were Naomi Smalls and Kim Chi, so there wasn't much tea about the current season, but there was some tea about other things. So I'll probably do a mini recap of that viewing party over on my Patreon, which I'll link to in my description, where I also post other content that I don't have time for in my YouTube videos. But moving on to this week's viewing party, which was for season 18, episode 9, and the guests this week were Athena Dion and Juicy Love Dion. So today we're going to be talking about Naysha Lopez slams Gia Gunn and Gia claps back. Athena revealed the unaired reason why she changed her Snatch Game character. And Juicy may have accidentally spilled too much tea and broken her NDA. All that and more coming up in today's video, so let's get started. So they started talking about this week's challenge, which was Fanny the Rusical, and they asked Athena how she was feeling about it. Athena said she was having an existential crisis every week and with every challenge, and she always felt like, quote, what fresh hell awaits us today? And that's how she went into every week. She said it also started back in episode 2 after she was picked last for the groups, and she joked that it, quote, still haunts me. Host Batty Davis mentioned that there was a lot of, quote, bickering when they picked the roles for the Rusical. Athena revealed that in real life, it went on for way longer than what was shown, and production actually had to step in twice to tell the queens to hurry up and pick their roles. According to Athena, everyone was tired of Nene Coco being indecisive because she does this all the time, and Athena said, quote, girl, just pick an effing part. The other host, Naysha Lopez, said to Juicy that we didn't see much of her during that part where they were picking the roles, so how did she feel about it? Juicy said she did hold back when everyone was bickering, but then when Nene was hesitating, Juicy did consider giving her role to Nene. Athena added that Nene kind of went down the line and said if she can't have Fanny, then she wants this role, and if that person said no, she'd move on to someone else and said she wanted their role. Juicy also revealed that when they read through their lines to start with to decide which roles they wanted, it happens pretty quickly, and she's not sure if she's just a slow reader, but by the time everyone was ready, Juicy hadn't even read through all of the lines yet, and the same thing happened when they did RDR Live. Naysha then said she wanted to go back for a moment and talk about Snatch Game, and she specifically asked Athena about her character. Athena joked that she wanted to die, and she downed her drink, and everyone laughed, presumably because Athena got a lot of criticism for doing a made-up character called Greta Feta Onassis. Athena said she's not sure if she'll get in trouble for saying this, but she revealed that during her walkthrough, RuPaul was, quote, harder than what we saw in the episode in terms of telling Athena not to do Charlie Chaplin, and it was actually a much longer conversation than what was shown. And it was actually RuPaul who suggested that Athena should go Greek and do a member of the Onassis family. Athena was hesitant to do another Greek thing because in the talent show she had already done a Greek-themed number. But apparently RuPaul said to her, quote, you know what famously happens when people don't listen to me at this table. And so that really stuck with Athena, and that was then the reason why she changed her character. Athena added that she had to come up with a character in 30 minutes, and she also didn't have anything to wear because she hadn't planned to do that character. She also wore Juicy's wig for the challenge, and joked that it was the only wig Juicy brought. This is because there has been a lot of chatter throughout the season saying that Juicy always wears either the same finger wig or just a headpiece, so it's become an ongoing joke that Juicy does not own any wigs. And this has kind of been a general ongoing theme for many of the contestants on season 18. There was then a funny moment when Naysha said that she texted Athena's drag daughter, Morphine Love Dion, to say that she had her mother as a guest at Roscoe's this week. And apparently Morphine just said, quote, mother lol, whatever, well, good luck with her. So Naysha asked Athena what she thought about Morphine being shady. Athena said, quote, "Who's morphine? Which challenge did she win? Which BBL are we on?" Naysha then said, quote, "I don't know, maybe she can answer." And Naysha pointed over to the audience, and it turned out Morphine was actually in the audience at Roscoe's, and everyone clapped and cheered, and Morphine later briefly joined them on stage as well for a toast. They spoke about the Snatch Game a bit more, and Naysha said that Mikey Meeks had recently said at a different viewing party that she doesn't like when queens do made-up characters. But Athena said, although Snatch Game is celebrity impersonation, it's more of an improv challenge. So even when queens do a real person, like when Candy Muse did Patrick Star, it's not actually accurate, so the only thing that matters is if you make RuPaul laugh, and you also get people talking about you, which Athena did. They moved on, and the other host, Caramel, said there are a lot of Florida queens this season, and we know Athena and Juicy knew Mia Starr beforehand, but did they know Mikey and Discord? Juicy said she'd never met them before, so the first time meeting them was on set, but she had heard of them and followed them on social media. She also said that Mikey has a great show in Orlando called Off the Record, and joked that Mikey had never booked her for it, and people laughed. But Athena said they are both now booked, and Juicy jokingly said, quote, "Yeah, now." They also later did a lovely tribute to Gabe, who was a singer-songwriter and producer who was featured in this week's episode, but he sadly passed away from lymphoma in January this year, and Athena said he was such a nice person, always had a smile on his face, and always made the queens feel good. They watched a bit more of the episode, and Batty brought up the confessionals and asked how the queens feel about watching them back now. Athena said she wasn't that surprised about anything people said, but she did reveal that the queens did sometimes come out of the confessionals and tell each other that they had said something shady. Athena said not to ruin the magic, but you sometimes get a bit, quote, heated in the confessionals, so they did break it to each other before. But sometimes they were genuinely surprised about what people said. For example, in episode 2, Athena did not know that Nene Coco thought Athena was not a team player until she saw Nene say that in the confessionals. Athena explained that she did get, quote, upset because of that, and actually, they were at Universal in Orlando in line for the Mummy ride, and this topic came up. So Athena said to Nene, quote, "You think I'm not an effing team player?" And she said that all of the sudden they weren't friends anymore, but this was probably a joke. Naysha then asked them how they felt about the fact that Plain Jane recently said in an interview that there were, quote, no stars on season 18, and the only reason she was watching was because she was getting paid to. Athena and Juicy said they actually saw Plain at Roscoe's the other day and made her correct her statement, and Plain apparently said she wasn't talking about the Dions when she made that statement. It then got to the moment in the episode when Athena got eliminated, and everyone stood up and clapped and cheered for Athena. Naysha then asked Athena how she felt about being eliminated and having to lip sync against Juicy. Athena said she was just really surprised that Juicy was in the bottom and didn't think that she should be. Athena also said about herself that although she knows she struggled with the choreography, she thinks that she embodied the part and she's proud of what she did in the musical, but they do need two bottoms. And she said the hardest thing was looking over at your, quote, soulmate, i.e. Juicy, and having to lip sync against them. Juicy added that she was very emotional, there were lots of tears, and at one point she had to tell Athena to get away from her because otherwise, quote, I'm going to lose my mind. Naysha said what pees her off is the, quote, predictability of them putting mother and daughter against each other, and we saw a similar thing happen with Sugar and Spice. Naysha added that she loves the show, but she hates it when it gets, quote, predictable and lazy. Move the F on. Naysha also said she found it completely unnecessary and asked if the other hosts agree because she doesn't want to get Athena and Juicy into trouble. But Athena said she did want to answer, and she said she has auditioned for the show 13 times, and she's thankful that they said no 13 times because there's no one else she'd rather be on a season with or get sent home by than Juicy. Naysha said she thought Kenya could be in the bottom this week because although she was good in the Rusical, the judges said she missed some of the words, and Naysha questioned why we are forgiving someone who keeps forgetting their words. Athena asked whether she should say who she thought should have been in the bottom instead of Juicy, but she hesitated. She then asked the audience who they thought should have been in the bottom, and from the sound of it, a lot of people shouted out Discord's name, and Athena said she agreed, but she didn't confirm exactly who she was talking about. Batty announced that they were live on YouTube because they live stream the Q&A part of the viewing party at Roscoe's, and Batty then said, quote, "And I'm trans, not a man." Batty then said, quote, "F Gia Gunn," and both Naysha and Batty stood up and looked into the camera and said, quote, "F you Gia Gunn, talking bleep, I got you, come to Chicago." It's not exactly clear what happened, so I did a bit of digging around this on social media to see if I could piece together the background of this. What I think happened is Gia Gunn was potentially in the chat on the live stream for Roscoe's, and when the camera was pointed at Naysha and Batty, I believe Gia Gunn may have made a comment saying that they both looked like men, even though Batty is trans. However, this might not be 100% accurate, but this is what I could piece together from what I could see online. Going back to Roscoe's, a bit later, Naysha addressed the situation and said they don't need people misgendering our community. She then said Gia Gunn wants to be respected as a trans woman, but then wants to sit there and call her trans sister Batty a man. Naysha said that's unacceptable, and at Roscoe's, they like to be shady and play games, but, quote, "The problem with Gia Gunn is she's showing you who she really is, a disgusting human being." Batty then said, "When people show you their colours, let them be." Naysha also said she wants to tell Batty they all love her and she's a trans beautiful woman, and they all clapped and cheered for Batty. Athena then added that it's very cozy and easy for people to tweet and say what they want from their home, but if they saw you in person, they probably wouldn't say that. Then, after the Roscoe's video came out, this clip from the viewing party went viral on social media. My Patreon Debs then informed me that Gia had actually responded to what Naysha said by posting a TikTok, so here is what Gia said.
This is my response to Miss Elimination. Babe, I'm pretty sure when I said, "Are those men on the TikTok live or calling anybody types of man?" I was talking about you. I was not talking about nobody else, my love. So if that struck a nerve, I want you to take a moment to think about what you're really trying to project. Second of all, why are you speaking for trans people? Let the talk. You didn't even let her speak up for herself. So is this beef between me and Batty or between me and you? Because I'm not exactly sure. Or was this another reach for clout and views because clearly no one's showing up to your viewing party? Babe, silicone hips don't make you a woman. So if you want to transition, go ahead and get a hormone shot like the rest of us. Sit down somewhere, let nature take its course, and I promise you, you'll be so much happier. Batty, I didn't know you were a trans woman. I do apologize. You could DM me. If you're not blocked, you know what you did, baby. Point blank period.
And we'll have to wait and see if Naysha or Batty respond back to Gia, but from what I can see so far, they have not. Back to Roscoe's, and they moved on to the Q&A. Cara said she had reached out to a Drag Race alum to submit a question, and it turned out it was Roxy Andrews, who is also a Florida queen. Roxy asked Athena and Juicy when did they tell each other that they were going to be on the season. Athena joked that she got the call first, although Juicy said it's just because it's alphabetical. So Athena called Morphine to ask her about it, but then while she was on the phone to Morphine, Juicy also called Morphine, so they then got on a three-way call. And as soon as Juicy said that she got on the show, Athena said she also did. Athena also added that she got a missed call and a voicemail from a Drag Race producer before she rang them back, and she revealed that she kept the voicemail. Interestingly, they played a bit of the voicemail into the mic at Roscoe's, which is surprising because usually the queens avoid revealing anything to do with production, because in the voicemail, the producer even says her full name. But as Athena was playing the voicemail, she clearly got nervous and then moved the phone away from the mic and said, quote, "Let's leave it there." Also, on the three-way call between Athena, Juicy and Morphine, Athena apparently said right away, quote, "So we're gonna lip sync against each other, aren't we?" And she also said, quote, "You're gonna send me home." So Athena clocked it right away. Athena also added that she can't share exactly how, but she's a, quote, detective, and she and Juicy figured out every single queen who was going to be on the season before they even arrived. Juicy said, quote, "Whose TikTok likes are open." Juicy also said, quote, "This is T, but they add you on Facebook on a random account." But then Athena tapped her, shook her head and stopped Juicy from speaking any further and said, quote, "No they don't," and so did Batty. Juicy then just froze and stopped speaking, and everyone laughed because Juicy clearly realised that she was spilling too much tea and might be violating her NDA. And Naysha said all she's going to say is, when you audition, they just want to see everyone's social media. So there you go, there was the Roscoe's recap for Season 18, Episode 9. What did you think of this season's Rusical? And do you agree with Plain Jane that Season 18 has no stars? Let me know in the comments. Also, I'd like to give a special shout out to my newest Patreon member, Lady Nidaria, who joined in the Drag Race All-Stars tier. Lady Nidaria, you are and always will be an All-Star. If you'd like to watch my videos before they go on YouTube, as well as see the things that I cut out of my Roscoe's recaps, as well as other exclusive content, please check out my Patreon. It just costs a few dollars a month and it really does help support the channel, and I'll put a link to my Patreon in the description. I'd also like to say thank you so much to all of my amazing Patreon members. I really do pinch myself all the time thinking about how lucky I am to have all of you supporting me, and it really does make a huge difference to the channel, so thank you all so much. Please make sure you like and comment on this video to help boost it in the algorithm and promote it to more people. And please make sure you subscribe. It's free, it only takes 2 seconds, and it really does make a big difference to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the future for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, and drama. Thank you so much. Bye.